Hi guys, Selena Walker here, naturopath and nutritionist. So this week I want to talk to you about one of my favourite subjects, and I'm sure it's one of your favourite subjects, food. Now we all love food, and we love food for many different reasons. Sometimes it's to socialise, sometimes because it's the taste, because of how it makes us feel. But sometimes we lose track of the reason why we eat. And it's simple. The reason why we eat is to make us. It makes us while we sleep in. What we've eaten in the day is like a little recipe sheet. And depending on the quality of the food we've eaten that day will depend on how we can heal and repair while we rest in. So let me ask you, how good is the recipe you are giving your body today? And many of us actually look at food as a suppressant. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so when you get stressed, when you get a bit emotional, when you get angry, do you go to food? Most of us do, and it's worth looking at where those food patterns come from. I can remember when I was a little girl, I'd quite often suffer from sore throats, and every time I had a sore throat, my dad would go into town and get me choc mint ice cream. And still to this day, when I have a sore throat, I enjoy ice cream. Granted, nowadays it's dairy free and generally sugar free, but I still go to that emotional pattern. So I want you to think this week, what are you pushing back down with food? Because emotions arise and sometimes we do not want to deal with them. It's too painful, it's too difficult, we haven't got the time. So we push it back down with food. We make ourselves feel better with food. And that can become a habit because that can release dopamine, which other drugs and addictive substances can release. And we become addicted to that feeling. We become addicted to suppressing our emotion with food. Our brain creates a pattern. When that emotion arises, let's go to food. And you know you'll have specific foods that you go to. And while this is really difficult to deal with, it can be reprinted in your brain. New patterns can be created. Now, where this differs from other addictions you can go cold turkey, you can completely cut it out of your life. But we can't do that with food because simply we wouldn't be around for much longer. So we need to eat, but we need to change the patterns of how we eat. We need to change that pattern of eating emotionally and just eating for delicious and nutritious health within our whole body. So what do I want you to do this week? A couple of different things. First of all, every time you feel hungry, I want you to ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I feeding an emotion? If you are feeding an emotion, the next thing I want you to do is actually look at that emotion, and if you can, take time and deal with that emotion. You may decide to write it out, you may decide to where it's come from, you may decide just to note it down and get further help with it, because we do need further help with these patterns that have been created inside us. And then the last thing I want you to do is, if you do go to food to suppress it, can you turn it around? And by that I mean, can you give yourself body, still food, but something delicious and nutritious that will help your body go through the process? Maybe a superfood smoothie or a green juice or a mug of cacao to get those blissful feelings going through you. Fill your body with magnesium, and it's full of PEA, which makes you get that loved up feeling. So this week is all about your food patterns. What do you eat? When do you eat it and why? Are you eating to make amazing you? Or are you eating to push down what you don't want to deal with quite yet? So hopefully that's allowed you to have a little bit of an explore what goes on for you with food. And remember, we're all on this journey. We're all looking at what patterns are already in us, have been created from childhood, through different experiences we've gone through in our life. And we're looking at how we can just keep going forward to the next stepping stone and keep growing so our bodies can be full of vitality. And remember, if you want more hints and tips about how you can live a delicious life, head on over to my blog and sign up to my free newsletter at www.selenawalker.earth. And remember, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you can keep up to date with all these little videos I do to help you live a delicious life every single day.